We have all kinds of new details about casting news for the upcoming Disney Plus series, Hawkeye. Let's talk about it. The Hawkeye series is in full production in Brooklyn, New York, and boy are we getting a lot of new castings. In the last week, not only have we got confirmation that Hailee Steinfeld's Kate Bishop has joined the show, but we've gotten quite a few new castings and even some very, very interesting rumors. Quite a few of these new castings and some of the rumors are pivotal in Hawkeye's history. So we thought it would be a great time to take a couple of minutes to talk about these castings, the characters they're playing, and how they fit into Hawkeye's history. But before we dive totally in, I just wanted to remind everybody to please click like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment. Are you a Hawkeye fan? And what do you want to see out of this series? It helps the channel more than you can believe. Thanks. I think it goes without saying that Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye and now the confirmed Hailee Steinfeld's Kate Bishop will both be primary characters in the show. We've seen both of them on set, so I don't think there's any questions about that, as well as, of course, Pizza Dog. But one report we did have was that Florence Pugh was joining the cast also, and now it appears that has been confirmed. To what extent she'll appear in the show, it's completely unknown, and her status is also up in the air, since we don't know if she's really a good guy, a bad guy. I mean, she could be very well on the Thunderbolts team as of right now. It's pretty clear their mutual relationship with Natasha Romanoff in the past will somehow play into this movie. I also wouldn't be surprised if she's teamed up with another character. We'll get to her in a second. Now, there were quite a few other Hawkeye characters that have been cast for the show. Now, the first character we're going to talk about that has been added to the cast is Echo, aka Maya Lopez. She will be played by newcomer Alaqua Cox, and is a well-established character inside of the Marvel Universe. Now, this character is likely to be changed from the comics. She was actually introduced into pages of Daredevil where her father was killed by the Kingpin. She eventually was manipulated into targeting Daredevil after spending years being trained as an assassin. She actually has photographic reflexes, which are very similar to Taskmaster. She's also one of the only deaf superheroes, and is of Native American descent, and actually was the first Ronin. That's technically what ties her to Clint Barton. It's highly likely in some capacity she's targeting Hawkeye. She very well could be a member of the Thunderbolts, or in the employ of Madame Mask, who's the primary villain of the series. All of that is currently up in the air. I do have to say the age of the character does seem to make her quite the contender to join the Young Avengers. Now, the second character they've added is William Lopez, Echo's father, who will be portrayed by Zane McLarnon. He's known as Crazy Horse in the comics, but this actor is probably best known for his performances in Longmire, Fargo, and Westworld. Now, here's the down part about this. This character in the comics was killed by the Kingpin very early on. We just talked about Echo's past. I don't actually think he'll make it through very many episodes of the series, but he could play an important part in the development of that character. The next character to join the cast will be Jack Duquesne, aka the Swordsman, who will be played by Tony Dalton. Now, this character has a pretty deep tie to Hawkeye's past. He started in the same circus as Hawkeye and spent years training him to be his protege. Eventually, Clint Barton caught him stealing money from their employer and reported him to the police. Kinda classic Silver Age stuff. After this happened, he beat Clint nearly half to death and went on the run and became the villain known as the Swordsman. Actually, in the comics, he tries to become one of the Avengers, but is eventually caught. Later on, he does join some other Marvel villain teams, including Batroc's Brigade and the Lethal Legion. We also have confirmation that Eleanor Bishop will be played by Vera Farmiga. This is a pretty straightforward casting. In case you didn't know, Kate in the comics comes from a very wealthy family, and her mother was believed to be dead for a really long time. Classic comics material. Later on, it will be revealed that she was alive and directing the activities of the actual villain, Madame Mask. Quite honestly, I would not be surprised at all if Eleanor Bishop is Madame Mask in the show and they just combine the two characters. But we'll have to wait and see. Finally, one of the other confirmed castings is a character known as Kazi or Clown, which will be played by the miserable star Fra Fee. This character is better known as the Psychotic Clown. He moved to America after his circus family was murdered. We do know that the Tracksuit Mafia is going to be part of this series, and this character is directly tied to the tracksuits in the books. To what extent the Tracksuit Mafia actually turns out to be part of the series is still pretty unclear, and I suspect they'll be a minor nuisance. And this leaves us with our last little rumor, one of which has not been confirmed by anybody in any official status, but there's so much Hawkeye stuff coming at us, I wanted to share it with you right away. One of the rumors making the rounds right now is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Adrian Palaki's Bobby Morris, aka Mockingbird, will be part of this show. In case you didn't know, she's Clint Barton's ex-wife in the comics. And if this is true, that means the character is being rebooted by Marvel Studios. Bobby Morris was part of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a little while, and there was even a spin-off show that was planned but never got any legs. Now, like I said, this is a rumor, and as soon as we get any kind of confirmation on this one, we'll let you know, but I'm very, very dubious of it. One other casting that we've talked about a lot but hasn't been filled is Trickshot. Just the presence of Swordsman in the Hawkeye series indicates that his brother, Barney Barton, is very likely to appear. Both Clint and Barney Barton grew up in an orphanage, but they ran away and joined the Carson Carnival of Traveling Wonder. This is where Clint met the Swordsman, but eventually Barney grew jealous and parted ways with his brother and joined the army and later the FBI. It does have an interesting connection to some other shows though. He was eventually brainwashed by Baron Zemo, who already knows a lot of Avengers secrets in the MCU, and would torment Hawkeye as the character Trickshot. He may not fit into this season, but he very well could fit into future seasons. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, that's all the new castings that we know about the Hawkeye series, and should give you a breakdown of pretty much all the main characters. I do love how the whole Hawkeye mythos has exploded in just a couple of days. He's one of Marvel's coolest characters and really has not gotten the respect he deserves. Quite honestly, I hope Jeremy Renner sticks around. Hawkeye's finally getting his time to shine, and there's enough room for two Archers in the MCU. So what do you guys think of all these new characters added to the Hawkeye show? And do you think either of the rumored characters, Trickshot or Mockingbird, will make an appearance? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you press like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you won't get any updates. Peace.